Hey, welcome to another edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Brandon Gomez, and we have a lot to get to, but we also have some fun stories today because I think it's a Friday, so we need a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Right? But before we even get to all of that, you know what you need to do. Subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that notification bell and make sure to follow us on all of our social media. If you don't know what it is, the handle is @BrandonGomez Show. Simple, right? Okay, let's get into it. And we're gonna go over to the East Coast because the city of Halifax is gonna have to pony up some pretty coins to a black man who was discriminated against. This coming from the Human Rights Board. And he was discriminated against for jaywalking. Take that in, jaywalking. So let's tee up this story because it happened a few years ago back in 2017. And the man's name is Gayasi Simmons. Now, Eva, I know we've been talking about this story. Let's break down what actually happened back in 2017.
So he was at work, and it was very common for everyone at work to cross the street to get coffee from this coffee shop. So he crossed just like he does every single day, and the officer stopped him, and they told him that he jaywalked and that they're only stopping him for his own well-being and safety. He went on with his day, he got his coffee, went back to the building, and then a couple minutes later, he got a phone call from the lobby saying that there was police downstairs looking for a black man in a toque.
Jeez.
So the same two officers were waiting for him, and they told him they'd watched him leave the coffee shop and saw him jaywalking again, which he denies. They'd asked him for his ID and threatened to arrest him, and he said the situation was very hostile, and he was really scared, and one of the police officers even had his hand on the gun. So the whole situation was just not good for him.
And all this for jaywalking.
For jaywalking, which he said that a lot of white people in his building did before him and after him, but they didn't stop him.
We just have to talk the facts because I live downtown and people jaywalk all the time. Is it right? Maybe not. But have I ever seen anybody get arrested for jaywalking? No. So what did this man do? Well, as we mentioned, he did file a human rights complaint against Halifax police. And the board did decide that yes, race did play a factor. But here's my big question. Is there any punishment for these officers involved, Eva?
While they're still employed, they're still police officers, the city said that they will be undergoing a Journey to Change training, which is a newly created program that Halifax did that was developed in consultation with the African Nova Scotia community. So it's a step, but it's like, will they do this again? How is this going to prevent other police officers from doing it as well? Because only both of them are going to go through this program.
Yeah, and it just goes back to just the small things in life you would hope that you could just do without having the fear of being having to interact with police like that. Anyhow, we also want to add this. The city of Halifax will also have to write this man an apology as well. Let us know.
They should.
Writing an apology, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're wrong. They're wrong. But it doesn't make sense to write him an apology, like publicly apologize to him. Like make this a big enough scene where people are realizing that being black in Canada, you face some of the same things that we hear about in the States.
Exactly. It's a cross-border issue.
Exactly.
On top of that apology, I should have added this, that the check he's going to be getting is more than $15,000, but I honestly don't think that's enough money to right the wrong that has happened here.
Right, but that's trauma.
It is trauma.
You hold that with you forever. That experience is going to be with him forever. He will never think about crossing the street like that again.
He said, I think twice every time I go out to
Imagine
the
that. Just
he
across
says,
the street.
I don't leave my office. He says, I don't leave my office as much anymore because I still worry about it.
Guys, let us know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section right now. We want to hear from you, okay? All right, so who was here hoping for a hot gal, hot girl, hot boy summer?
Me! I was! Please, I want to be a hot
Well,
girl!
settle down because you ain't going to be one this summer. Listen to this. Did you know the city of Toronto has canceled all outdoor festivals for this summer? What does that mean? It means Taste of the Danforth. It means the CNE. It means Caravana. I know.
Moment of silence.
All that work. We were putting in that body work. Remember Caravana?
You got it still.
I do feel for, these festivals, especially the CNE, because the director of the festival, Darryl Brown, he came out and said that the financial viability of this festival is now at risk. In fact, they've lost, for 2 years in a row, because it's been canceled now 2 years in a row, lost revenues totaling up to $70 million. So who knows if there will even be a CNE in 2022.
A lot of companies are going through that right now.
Right, but let's
It's
not
scary.
forget about all the small businesses who also have lost
That's the thing. If
so much.
they're losing that much, think about the small businesses.
But
Exactly.
they've been saying like 30% or something like that of small businesses that operated are now closed because people sell their stuff there.
It's so true. Hey, how are you guys feeling about this? Are you sad?
Yes. Yes.
Well, drop those sad emojis in the comment section right now. You know what I'm also sad about? Does anybody remember taking the Greyhound?
Yeah.
Right? Remember when I mean, I'm sure people still did that. I used to do that when I was younger. Well, Greyhound Canada has now stopped all domestic service in this country. No more. Now, this is something that has been ongoing because back in 2018, they did pull their Western Canada service, but they were still operating in Eastern Canada. But now, no more. Gone. And this is a big issue, especially for smaller communities. I know, Kelly, you were talking about this earlier when we were talking about the story.
Yeah, I do feel for the people who are in smaller communities, just like rural areas in general. Like I know people who take the Greyhound, but it's more so like a bigger issue because of women who may be in like domestic abuse situations who need to leave. Like you may not be able to take the car. Like you may not be able to get away from this situation any other way.
Especially in those rural areas.
Especially in rural areas. Especially because a lot of reserves are out there. They use the Greyhound to get to hospitals or to get to medical attention.
I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, we are here in the city and we have alternative options. Other people don't. So if you are, or if you do live in a rural area, how are you feeling about this? Are you impacted by this decision? We want to hear from you right now. Okay, can we talk about some good news? Some good news? Uh-oh. Eva, you have a dance move you want to show us? Come on now. Are you gonna bust a move?
See, listen, I don't drive on the highway, so I have an hour drive. So what am I doing? I'm listening to music.
Okay, and new music has been released by multiple artists, literally last night. The big one coming from Nicki Minaj. I'm joking. No, but big deal. She went on live. Drake joined her on her Instagram live last night as she basically re-released her mixtape, Beam Me Up Scotty, but it did include 3 new tracks, including one called Seeing Green, which features Lil Wayne and Drake. And of course, this is Young Money, Cash Money. Anybody who knows this era, it's one of the best eras ever. Okay, so I'm getting into it. But it wasn't just Nicki Minaj. We also know that J. Cole dropped some new
J.
tracks.
Cole dropped his new album, The Off Season, and as J. Cole does, there was no features. But his last 3 albums had platinum with no features as well.
Okay.
I loved it. It was great.
All
it was
right.
a wonderful album. And he said it was years in the making, so we've been looking forward to this one.
All right. You were vibing.
I was vibing.
Who was the third artist that dropped tracks?
Migos, my babies, they dropped as well. They dropped 1 track. We all know the little drama that's going on with Quavo and Saweetie. So this is obviously like much anticipated, and it's going to drum up some great coverage for them for their Culture 3 drop, which hopefully will be soon because I need some new tracks.
All right. If you've heard any of these tracks or if you've been following these stories, let us know what you think about the tracks in the comment section. In the meantime, it's a Friday. That's your news you can use for today. Remember, we drop new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. News you can use is what I'm talking about. If you have any news stories, news@brandygonashow.com. Speaking of the BG Show, new episode coming out this Sunday. You don't want to miss it. But remember this, we love you for watching. So comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.